Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network. I mean, where do we even start today? We were talking because we're here in LA. Russia has kidnapped this ballerina, this dual U.S. Russian citizen, on treason charges, accusing her of collecting funds for Ukrainian organizations and openly opposing the Russian war in Ukraine. I fear for everybody like you and Dr. Redlener and anybody trying to help Ukraine. I mean, Putin is clearly emboldened. I guess that's what happens when you have a Republican frontrunner say, Russia, go do whatever the hell you want, right?
Well, you're absolutely right. And as if to prove your point, I'm happy to announce that, or did I announce it last week? Well, I'm happy to announce again that I have been listed by the Russian Foreign Ministry as an enemy of Moscow, and they have issued a warrant for my arrest.
Oh, wow.
And I am on there with the super hot foreign minister of Latvia and Estonia.
Well, that's nice company. Okay.
Not bad, but I have been officially named, so I will never be able to go to Russia and live in the glory that is shopping carts you can put 10 rubles in.
Yeah, Tucker failed to mention they have to spend their entire paycheck.
Yeah, every week.
On food. Yeah. So, Malcolm, I'm not even sure where to start. I don't know if you saw this. This was Fox News town hall audience cheers when Trump says he wouldn't defend besieged NATO allies that don't spend enough. We are just, I don't think there's a shouty level shouty enough for where we find ourselves, is there?
No, and I've just resigned myself to wallowing in their treason and not getting as shouty as I usually have to, because now I understand that this is baked into the Trump Republican Party cake. They are assets of Moscow. To be a Trump Republican, you must hate America, be ready to betray America, be ready to spit on the lives, the sacrifices U.S. soldiers have given since the beginning of this nation, and especially since we landed troops in Normandy in 1944 in order to free the world from totalitarian dictatorships. To be a Trump Republican, you must hate America so much you are willing to side with a communist, ex-KGB, ex-communist dictator because Donald Trump says you must do it.
I mean, I don't even know where to start. I read Asha Rangapa's tweet. For real, can we recap? Sitting members of Congress initiated impeachment proceedings against the President of the United States based on information passed to them by an agent of Russian intelligence. Some members refused to pass aid to Ukraine. The same members defend Trump. I mean, I don't know what else you call it, but a treason caucus, the Putin wing of the GOP, as Liz Cheney calls it, right?
Yeah, the Kremlin crew, as I called them in 2016. An entire group of Republicans that have beholden themselves to the promise of Russian oil money and Donald Trump's favor. And so by going along with Trump, and this is strictly because Donald Trump says it's good, therefore his base believes him, therefore if he says set fire to the White House or betray America in some other fashion, they will do it. This is beyond a cult. It's a cult of anti-Americanism. It's a cult of people who now hate America as it stood for, but they have an entirely different mentality about what they think America should be. To them, Donald Trump is the greatest patriot that's ever lived, above Lincoln and Washington and every other president. That is why the up is down, black is white world that they live in spells treason as an actual act of patriotism.
Yeah. Malcolm, I want to get your take. Dan Goldman, we played some audio, and also Tristan Snell, a lot of legal experts. Tristan said Jim Jordan, Chuck Grassley, and James Comer were either duped by Smirnoff and the Kremlin or they were in on it. Either way, the DOJ must subpoena every single communication Jordan, Grassley, and Comer had about Smirnoff or anything related immediately tonight. Dan Goldman echoing that DOJ must investigate whether they knew that Smirnoff was spreading Russian disinformation, because this is obviously an active measures, as you would say in one of your many books, for 2024, for 2024 to get Donald Trump reinstalled.
Yeah, and the media is actually using the wrong terminology for this, as they usually do, right? They want to mealy-mouth this entire subject. I have been saying this since 2016, all right? And about Jim Jordan, Comer, all the rest who are still openly supporting this narrative. Are you a Russian spy? Remember how they said that about Eric Swalwell, when Eric Swalwell, with no proof whatsoever, right? Some Chinese asset was trying to come after and influence him, and he had worked with the FBI. These people didn't. They worked strictly with Moscow. Now they're aware of it, and they are still pushing Moscow's line. Are you an actual asset of Russian intelligence?
And Malcolm, this is another whole level beyond even your first book, Plot to Hack America, that, they were saying, Putin's saying now, like, I don't even need to go through the FBI. I can go right to Congress. I can go right to Republicans in Congress to launder this disinformation.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And actually in every one of the 4 books that I've written, I spelled out that they were, that certainly in Plot to Destroy Democracy, Russia has been buying right-wing governments, right-wing political parties, right? Parties that love money. And they've used their illicit oligarch oil money to buy them outright. And that's what you're seeing here. Look, they bought Lindsey Graham, right? And Tim Scott and everybody else in order to shill for Donald Trump and do it happily with smiles on their face, betraying America straight up. And that's why we got to stop referring to them as Republicans. You got to start referring to them as either Moscow's party, like Moscow Mike Johnson, or you have to call them the traitors that they are. Moscow's, what do you say? Government of Putin. That's what GOP should stand for.
And you have an alternative name for Tim Scott?
I do? Oh, are we talking about Lindsey Graham's wife?
No. Your last week, # Butter Biscuit. Okay, let's.
Oh, Butter Biscuit. Well, I give that to Frangela. They're going to espouse on that all Friday.
All right, let's go back to Plot to Hack America. This is why we love you, because you, of course, were the only one in this telling us before the 2016 election what was going to happen. Black Knight says the biggest story in the world should be that Bill Barr killed the investigation into Trump conspiring with Russia to win in 2016, then immediately began conspiring with a Russian asset to win in 2020, and Republicans picked up where he left off to rig the 2024 election.
Yep.
Someone else tweeted, who else wants to see the entire unredacted Mueller report? Believes we've been jerked around long enough by these anti-American Republican scoundrels. I don't even know. Just your thoughts on all of this.
Well, they're right about the Mueller report. We have never seen the unredacted Mueller report. Half these characters are probably in it. Wow. And it's time, Trump, wisely went after the whole thing with Bill Barr saying there was nothing to it. Russia, Russia, Russia. Now we should be saying that. We should seize that phrase. Russia, Russia, Russia. They show up everywhere in the Republican Party, right? They have people going over there. Tucker Carlson acting as their cheerleader for all of this. They're stopping all aid to Ukraine in order to assist Russia on the battlefield, which means by extension they're assisting Iran on the battlefield. They're assisting Hamas. Russia is a malignant actor in this world, and we need to start calling the Republicans out as the people who are facilitating Moscow's goals, not America.
Yeah. Well, delays in deliveries from Western allies to Ukraine are opening a door for Russian battlefield advances, said President Zelensky, making the fight very difficult along parts of the front line, where the Kremlin's forces captured a strategic city last weekend ahead of the war's 2-year anniversary. I mean, the good news is Putin said he would take Ukraine in 2 weeks. Right. So here we are moving into year 2. But what do you think in terms of the state of the war and whether there's hope for us still to send aid?
Well, I think there will be hope for us to send aid. And, the Democrats have made it clear that they have techniques to bring this legislation to the floor. But look what the Republicans did. Look what Moscow Mike Johnson did. He called a 2-week recess.
Yeah.
Just got rid of Congress so that Congress could do nothing. And now he's afraid of bringing it back Okay, because not only will they have to go back to, figuring out what he's doing, whether it's, the Democrats can bring the legislation to the floor, whether he's going to lose votes there by people who are in Biden plus 10 districts, who are terrified of the very thing, or the one or two Republicans who still act on principle out there. And they're still moving forward with the impeachment inquiry at the exact same time. These people don't care about governing.
Yeah.
And we should say that every time we open our mouth. Republicans can't govern. They work for Putin. That's why.
Yeah, we always recommend your Substack. We've linked to it, but as you do, you connect everything around the world. 2 weeks of geopolitical madness is the world about to explode. You said it's Donald Trump induced chaos. We all know the story behind the fool who became king. What we did not understand at the time, and even now the news media are not only starting to grasp, is that the purpose of the fool is to bring bizarre, corrupt entertainment into the most serious of situations. And you said the opiate-like addiction the news media has to this man is an accurate description. And, as literally, we watch the world burn. I mean, you talked about just the last 48 hours, killing Navalny, on and on. You said the reason you're feeling morose is because Trump-induced chaos in Europe is deeply tied to the crisis in the Middle East. For all of the ballyhooing that Trump supports the extremist policies of Netanyahu, his actions and words seem to fuel the dreams of Iran. The Iranian mullahs are politically savvy. They watch Trump and American politics carefully, and in many interests, they time their malicious activities to have the most negative impacts on the American electorate.
Because Iran does things to damage Joe Biden. Iran watches Trump to see how they can do things to damage Joe Biden. Trump watches the world to see if he can damage Joe Biden. So we have Moscow, Iran, Hezbollah, the Yemenis, the Syrian militias, and Iranian-backed Iraqi militias all watching Trump's cues. And then when he says something insane, they glom off of that as well. The world watches what happens in the United States. And that's why you should sign up for Substack, go read that article, because you'll see that everything that's happened in the last 2 weeks is connected. There's almost a unified field theory, and that field theory is called Trump-induced chaos.
By the way, if you want to play compare and contrast, if your issue is Gaza, the headline is, I think we should kill them all. GOP Representative Andy Ogles on Palestinians in Gaza. Republican Representative Andy Ogles of Tennessee said we should kill them all after an activist pressed him to respond to atrocities that the U.S.-backed Israeli military is committing against Palestinians, including children. I've seen footage of shredded children's bodies. The activist said, that's my taxpayer dollars that are going to bomb those kids. He said, you know what? So I think we should kill them all, if that makes you feel better. Hamas and the Palestinians have been attacking Israel for 20 years. It's time to pay the piper. Another Republican has a bill to deport every single Palestinian in America back to Palestine.
Okay, wait. I have to interject something that's missing here. And far be it for me to defend Republicans, but that's not what he said exactly. He said, I think we should kill them all. I'm talking about Hamas.
Yeah.
That's what the next part of that sentence was.
Yeah.
So that's missing from that report. But, look, the mindset of many Republicans is to let Bibi Netanyahu stay in power and do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
They would have no problem expelling 2.2 million Gazans. They would have no problem giving all of the West Bank to Israel and then backing it up with U.S. military force. These people who are single-issue voters who are saying they won't vote for Joe Biden, you don't know bad yet.
Yeah.
Okay?
Malcolm,
it can get a lot worse.
We have a minute left. I just wondered if you had any thoughts at all about Donald Trump comparing himself to Navalny, and also Julian Assange's wife saying he is just like Navalny. And
well, first off, I tweeted that I look forward to Julian Assange's arrival at the U.S. federal courthouse in Alexandria. I will be down there with one of them big signs. Because, look, Julian Assange released hundreds of thousands of top-secret reports, exposed dozens and dozens of agents, innocent people who were working for the Taliban, Saudis. I don't care about him. And he ain't Navalny. Okay?
Yeah.
He self-imposed an exile in the Ecuadorian embassy for 7 years under the stairs on his own. No one put him in jail. No one sent him there. But then when he got held accountable for what he did do, he's coming to the United States. And, he's right up there with Snowden. He doesn't seem to have a lot of problems with what Moscow does. But Donald Trump and Navalny in the same sentence. Jesus.
As Carlos said, it's weird.
He's only in the sense that I hope he goes to a Siberian prison.
Right. Yes.
Was it Carlos yesterday saying, like, it's weird because they're saying, they're prosecuting him for journalism. It's like, that's weird. He didn't do any journalism about Donald Trump when there was a lot of stuff
my God.
only about Hillary. It's just weird. Yeah.
In Plot to Hack America, I spell out he was rabidly pro-Trump and rabidly anti-Hillary, and everything that he could do to damage her.
And also, his wife's like, I'd be scared for his life if he comes to the U.S. It's like, I see in this scenario and in Trump's scenario, Joe Biden is Putin. Joe Biden is the murderous dictator, and they are the hero patriots. I'm like, okay, I can't talk to Malcolm soon enough. All right.
Oh, that's absolutely ludicrous. I mean, he's getting fed 3 times a day. He's going to get turkey at Thanksgiving. I mean, but U.S. prisons, our federal penitentiaries, are for criminals. So don't be criming.